Oh, yeah. Should do it like this. Okay, did that. And now. Okay, did that. And. Alright, I've notified everyone. Alright. Welcome, everyone. We're here on another Thursday night for another live eviction. And this is obviously a pretty special one. It's the 1000th episode, so it's going to be a longer episode, obviously. It's supposed to be a 90-minute episode, if I recall correctly. We're going to get an eviction. We're going to get the reveal of a twist. There's supposed to be a nerve-wracking twist, which we'll see. We'll see what comes of that. And once again, looks like a potentially interesting vote here. So we can talk about what has changed here since I made my ranking here. So I think the major thing that has changed, or at least the main thing that's been discussed, is the fact that it does seem like Drew is once again in more danger now than what it was before. Where now you have the likes of Barrett and Mallory and Melody. They are all pretty upset by Drew at this point, to where they're definitely a lot more open now to evicting him than what they were before. Again, at the time I made the video, it did seem like Mallory was primary target. If not, Drew could be voted out over Taylor, but now I think that's somewhat shifted here. Sorry about that. So like I said, when I made the video on Tuesday, it looked like Mallory was going to be the main target, going home if she fails to win Blockbuster. If Mallory did win the Blockbuster, then Taylor would be evicted over Drew. But even then, like, I acknowledge that there was time for the plan to shift, and a lot of that was due to the icons having somewhat differing motivations here, particularly from D, where D said that her goal was to break up FAP. Her goal was to ensure that at least one from that group of four went home, which would imply that she would want either Drew or Mallory to go. And I think with that, you would assume that if she were to come around to realize that that would cause the plan to shift. And while the plan has shifted, I don't think it's entirely on D's end here. Or really, it's more so the rest of FAP turning against Drew here. But and through that, it is now more possible for Drew to go home. In fact, it seems at this point that I think Drew goes out unless he wins Blockbuster. So let's look at the votes here. So first up, we have Taylor winning Blockbuster here, where you get Drew versus Mallory on the block. So right at the bat, you have the votes of the icons, that being Angela and Rick Devens here being votes for Mallory. Again, Rick Devens particularly is still more attached to Drew than he is to Mallory. He would rather keep Drew around because obviously he did all that work earlier in the week to ensure that Barrett and Drew would stay by his side, particularly, and potentially use them to target D, or at least redirect their anger towards D so that they're not focused on him per se. And then you also have Haley, who I think, again, the vets were pulling in this week, would also be a vote to evict Mallory there. So that's 3 votes there. However, then you have FAP, which is Barrett and Melody here, these 2 votes. And from what we have heard, Barrett has turned against Drew, or at least he rather keep Mallory in the game over Drew, largely because Drew is less likely to take a shot against the icons later on. Mallory obviously has been burned by them multiple times. I mean, she was nominated by D both times that D was HOH. And obviously now with this whole situation where Mallory threw the HOH thinking that D was on her side, only for that to not be the case. Again, Mallory's just all out on the icons and is very much committed to targeting them. So through that, Barrett, I think, has kind of woken up a bit more to that. And through that, he's more willing to vote out Drew at this point. So he's a vote for Drew. And then you have Melody. Obviously, for a lot of the season, well, Melody was obviously close to both Drew and Mallory for a lot of the season, but I think push comes to shove, I think she chooses Mallory over Drew, so she's a vote for Drew here, especially with what has happened in previous days where Melody was very upset over Mallory being the renom, and she's been even more frustrated by the fact that Drew seems willing to work with the icons here, to where obviously there's that. You then have Yash, who is pretty anti-Drew. Drew was very much calling him out in the nomination ceremony, to where Yash is a vote there. And then you have Taylor. And Taylor's another person. I can just break her down here. Taylor should be a vote for Drew as well. I mean, another person that Drew called out. Taylor is another person who wants to target the vets at some point down the road. And through that, she be a vote for Drew here. And also considering the fact that Mallory and Melody, in jumping from FAP and essentially breaking up FAP, they are more willing to work with Lala and Taylor regardless. And then you have Lala. And I know Lala could go either way here. In terms, I feel like she's someone who inherently I think would side with Drew. Well, it's kind of a weird situation because if she votes for Drew, then this is 5-3. Drew just goes home. And yeah, she's essentially the swing vote here because if she votes the other way, if she votes for Mallory, that creates a 4-4 tie, meaning D would have to break the tie, and D would obviously vote to evict Mallory. So seems like Lala would be the swing vote at this point. And obviously, while I think Taylor's probably more of a locked vote for Drew, and I do think if push came to shove, she probably would vote for Drew. It's not guaranteed by any means, but either way, it would be a pretty exciting vote here. But again, I do think things have shifted here to where now Mallory would stay over Drew if she were on the block against him. We then have Drew versus Taylor. So let's just put all these pieces back here. Okay, so now we have Mallory winning Blockbuster. So she's off the block. Now we have Drew versus Taylor. Now, this I think is probably a bit more of an interesting vote, but realistically, I think it probably is going to break down similarly to the Drew Mallory one, where again you have the icons being votes for Taylor here. Again, you would think that they would have come around to evicting Drew in all scenarios to just guarantee that Fap would go. But considering that, again, Fap just seems to be all out on Drew, I don't think that's as necessary at this point. So I think they probably would brick up Taylor. I think they also recognize that Drew is probably less likely to turn on the vets down the road compared to Taylor. I think they see that as well. And again, like that was Dee's intention for a lot of the week, and it doesn't seem like she has wavered to where, again, I do think that's where the direction they're going in. So I have Angela and Devins being votes for Taylor. We got Haley. Haley's a pretty locked vote for Taylor. I mean, Haley is worried that Taylor would not vote for her on a jury, and she would rather just Taylor not be around at this point. So I think Haley's a pretty locked in vote there. But I do think a lot of the same votes for Drew come to play here. You have Barrett, you have Melody, you have Mallory, who's now off the block, and I think would be a vote for Drew over Taylor. Again, Mallory and Melody are looking to work with Taylor more in the future compared to Drew. You have Yash again. And I do think Lala's a pretty locked vote for Drew in this scenario, especially with Taylor on the block. Now, again, if any one of these four were to flip and cause a tie, I do think D would break the tie for Taylor. I think that's where we stand at this current point, but either way, we are set up for a pretty interesting vote where Drew would probably be evicted against both Taylor and Mallory here. And then the final scenario is Mallory versus Taylor, which is probably the least interesting one, if I'm being honest. But here, Drew wins Blockbuster, which is obviously not out of the question since Drew did win a Blockbuster before. But in this scenario, he's off the block. You get Mallory against Taylor. And I think Mallory does get evicted here. Again, just looking at the votes, you have the icons here being votes for Mallory. Again, Mallory is the much more dangerous player in terms of targeting the vets compared to Taylor. So I do think they would have their hands tied there. Drew would be a vote for Mallory as well. I mean, I think he feels like the bridge has been burned. Plus, he wants to really show the icons that he's with them. You have Yash. Yash wants to work with Taylor, so he's a vote there. Same thing with Lala. I think Haley's weird because I mean Haley is anti-Taylor, but I think she probably would vote with the vets here. I think she is. I think she said that openly that she would vote with the vets here. It's not her preference, but she would vote that way. And then you do have Barrett and Melody, who I think are probably sympathy votes here. I don't see how they vote to evict Mallory. I don't think they see a point in wanting a sympathy vote, but regardless, Mallory would still be evicted in this scenario at least. But that is assuming Drew wins the Blockbuster, which is again not a guarantee, but could happen. So that's what we're looking at in terms of this vote here coming into tonight. Let's look at the polls now. Let's see what y'all said in the poll. Just pull it up. Yeah. So 13 people voted. Mallory was the favorite here to win the Blockbuster, getting 7 out of 13 votes here. I mean, Drew and Taylor still got a good amount of votes as well, but Mallory is the favorite. I voted for Mallory as well. Who will be evicted? This was interesting. So Mallory was also the favorite to be evicted here. Now, I'm not sure how much of this is hedging and how much of this is people voting before. A lot of this fallout happened last night that caused the vote to shift on the Drew, but I voted for Drew to be evicted. But a lot of people voted for Mallory. A couple of people voted for Taylor as well to be evicted, which, again, to each of their own. Vote count. I voted 6-2. Again, this is somewhat hedging, like assuming that Mallory is evicted over Taylor here. But to be honest, I did also vote relatively early in these. I think I just forgot to switch my vote, but really, I'm probably expecting it to be 5-3 if I'm being honest, or if not, maybe like the likes of Haley just flips for whatever reason. But that's what we're looking at here. But beyond the actual eviction tonight, we also have the fact that this is the 1000th episode, and there is supposed to be a twist coming into play here. Now, I did ask about this, and it does seem like the consensus is that there will be like some sort of round with a different format. I will acknowledge that this is a pretty broad category, but I did also allow for multiple correct answers, so again, it is possible here, but round different formats, like again, it's the most straightforward. It's the most encompassing, I feel like. So I'm expecting a lot of people to get votes for this one, but we'll see. And then who will win HOH? Again, kind of spread out in terms of the votes here, but Yash is the favorite. I did pick Yash here. Now this is interesting, obviously, because Yash is still under his deal with D, so he can't put up any of the vets here if he wins HOH next. But I could see it going either way for Yash. I think there are definitely reasons why Yash would want to win this next HOH. One is to get it over with, again, to sort of burn the bribe there so that he doesn't have to be handcuffed by it later. Though I could also see the argument of him knowing that there are people who would take the shot against the vets for him, so where he wouldn't have to do that. Um, so I think that's a consideration. I think it could also allow him to further rally people against the vets there as well, to where he could potentially out the fact that the deal covers all the vets, not just D, because I believe that's the story that D was telling other people, that she was telling other people that she made the bribe with Yash, but she was only protecting herself and not just she was only protecting herself. She did not mention that it also included Angela and Rick Devons. So I think there are some considerations there, and I think just comparability wise as well. I think Yash is the best competitor there. But to be fair, I mean, I could see the likes of Barrett gunning for it. Mallory, if she stays, I could see those two really gunning for it now, especially knowing that they are like not good with the vets the way that they thought at the time of last week. So that's what we're looking at in the terms of the polls. Let me see the other. Let me see the chat here. Oh yeah, 51 cast is out. Let's pull them up while we wait for the 1000th episode. I don't have any like visuals yet for the 51 cast. I mean, we can talk about it during the episode. Particularly during like commercial breaks and stuff. Um, help people asking about me showing the screen. Uh, there's a thing on the top left corner of the screen. Just read that, and I will be giving a play-by-play. So again, if you're relying on me to track what happens, I will be talking about what happens, but I will not be showing anything. One, because of copyright, and two, because I don't really have the capability to do it on this computer. So I am watching it on device here. So there's that. Y'all should go for the vetoes instead of HOH. So I think if you're Yosh, like you are essentially hoping that other people take the shot for you, right? Um, I don't think he needs to win the vetoes per se, unless he himself is in direct danger. I think he can pitch himself as someone who will win vetoes to ensure that the vets don't win if the shot gets taken. But yeah, I do agree. Like, I think realistically, Yash probably is fine just not winning the HOH next week. I think he probably should not win it because the vets are not going to target him. And again, like there are just other people who would take the shots for him. So I do agree that he probably should just like lay low for now. And then what else is there? Oh, we should look at what the blockbuster itself is. I believe we have the competition. I believe Julie talked about it there. All right, let's find it. Will my computer run? Oh, no, Reddit. Where is it? Do I need to sort by new? Yeah, it is sorted by new. Oh, okay. I scrolled past it. Okay, let's see what we got here tonight. Let me just share my screen.
Unprecedented 1000th episode of a primetime show called
Can I full screen this?
Big Brother.
Why can't I show this in full screen?
1000th episode of a primetime show called Big Brother. I have two of the best to ever play this game to compete against me. Derek Levasseur, Taylor Hale, taking on the host. This one with two thumbs in tonight's BB Blockbuster Arena. Okay, here's how we're gonna play. On my go, the three of us are gonna run to the other side. We're gonna run all the way around here to get 3 clues. Each clue is going to appear on this clue screen for 30 seconds. Then we have to run back to over here. This giant screen that says
did we already do a comp like this season?
Is going to be divided.
Like, wasn't this the week 1 Blockbuster?
A,
or like very similar?
B, and C. A, B, and C is all gonna have like little Brady Bunch, little like tiny squares of things that have happened over the years. All 3 clues, we're gonna have to find the screen A or screen B or screen C have some image that has all 3 clues. If you don't understand what I just said, you gotta watch tonight. I might go. All
right, I'm just gonna, just cut the sound here. Okay, it's just a memory comp, so it's like, I don't know, like, who is advantaged here in this comp? Like, I mean, I think anyone could win this, really. I mean, it's like, again, it's just like a memory comp. Like, like I feel like there isn't much of a physical edge here aside from just running back and forth. But again, it's just like catching the right thing on the screen, I guess. But yeah, I mean, good to know. I mean, I think, like I said, I think anyone could win that. So we'll just see what happens. But with that, I should probably get ready here. Probably get my screen all ready to go. All right, got it on. Yeah, we're just the show is gonna start in a minute. Assume Taylor has an advantage. Again, what competition did Taylor win again? Like, what did she win? Because if we are looking at the track record here, I mean, you have Drew. Mallory won't, like, she's the pipe queen. She won a puzzle. You have Drew. He won his blockbuster, which was like a somewhat physical one, I believe. And then, like, I know Taylor won a veto. Like, what was? Oh, wasn't it the? Yeah, it was like it was the wine one, right? If I recall correctly. Her job requires her to remember a bunch of nonsense, I guess. But we are now getting into the show itself here. Previously on Big Brother. Yep. 50-50 bluff game. Basically the suitcase dilemma. Yeah. I mean, it is a good comp to win. Oh boy. All right, getting done with the recap. Big Brother. Nice melody screaming. Good evening. I'm Julie Chen Moonves. All right. I guess. I saw. No, Chicken George is in attendance. I'm guessing we're gonna be. All right, who we got? We got Jesse, Cody, Cameron, Rachel. Biggest twist. But first. All right, I'm guessing. All right, they're doing a like a flashback segment about. They're doing like a history of Big Brother segment. All right, yeah, we're just getting like a montage now. All right, they're showing season 1. All right, they're showing. They're just showing clips now from Big Brother. They're showing Dr. Will, showing Amy. They're showing the twin twist. Well, the no, Project DNA. They're showing the pressure cooker. All right. They're showing no. They're showing Franzel in all her outfits. Showing Sam in the computer punishment. Yeah, they're just showing all the punishments. Yep. There's the egg costume. Okay, showing Paul. Oh, that's more screen time than I would have thought from Boogie. Alright, showing Evil Dick, Josh. They're showing the Bailey Tyler fight. Showing Rachel and Reagan. Showing Danny and Jen. Alright. On my daughter's birthday! Showing Crazy Eyes. Keisha's birthday. They're showing Butt First. Showing Frankie revealing his sister. Showing the twin twist. They're showing the coup d'etat. They're showing Shannon putting toothbrush in the toilet. Showing the I hate you all speech. Showing the X Factor. Showing Dan's funeral. In this game, you're dead to me. They're showing Otev. Showing Zingbot. Showing Vanessa evicting Austin. Showing the wall. Showing Caitlin's puzzle. Showing Clown Shoe. Showing the hamster wheel. Showing Cody and Jessica. Corey in America. They're just showing showmances now. Technotronics. Showing Roman Lyric because we all needed to see that. Showing Bailey and Swaggy C. Showing Nicole and Victor. Technotronics again. And Jordan. All right, they're showing the cookout. Showing Audrey from BB17. And Lala winning the wall. Yeah, Frankie winning the Battle of the Block by himself. They're showing Taylor's jury speech and showing a bunch of winner reveals. Very spoilery, by the way. This is very spoilery. They're showing the winners. All right. All right, so that was the montage. Not bad. Not a bad segment. All right, I'm guessing they're showing the fan vote now. And I voted on. I think I cast my vote on stream here. They're showing favorite moment. What were the nominees again? All right, they're just announcing it. Dan's funeral wins favorite moment. Cut to Dan, the audience. Best to never win. All right. The contenders are Danielle, Paul, Vanessa, Janelle, Morgan, and Tyler. I'm guessing either Tyler or Danielle's gonna win, I think. If I had to guess. Okay, it's Janelle. Not who I would have picked, but it makes sense. All right, now they're just showing us a segment with Janelle in it. All right, yeah, they're just showing Janelle right now. Oh my God, showing Boogie again. All right, they're bringing Janelle out on stage. All right, she's getting a full-on interview right now. Debatable. All right. All right, so she also won the favorite comp beast award. Oh, just off Felicia. All right, she's asking who's gonna win the blockbuster. All right, picks Mallory. All right, I guess she's a Taylor stan. um, questionable. All right, we're going to commercial. All right, so I'm guessing they're just using this for the first 30 minutes, and then at like 8:30 they're gonna play the episode as normal. I think that's what it seems like. I think we're getting another Palau situation on 51 because of what is this? Okay. Anyway, going to commercial right now. I mean, it's weird because like, yeah, I mean, seems to be what could be getting because yeah, like we don't really have tribe divisions, right? Because normally like Redmond Inside Survivor like has like tribe divisions, but it's like yeah, it's like they don't even have the tribe divisions yet, and like yeah, it's like the way they like drop the cast too. It's like and like I believe we are supposed to get two tribes, so I think something's gonna happen. Now, again, it's not guaranteed. It's like it's like weird though. Like what? Because like I'm thinking about this, and it's like I don't think. I mean, I mean, again, like for all I know, like any again, they are sticking by this open era thing. They could like open it up with a bang here, and like have like really show how committed they are to like this idea of like twist coming back and stuff. But I think we could also get like maybe like the tribes like maybe like a schoolyard pick. Yeah, but it's like I don't know what they do with schoolyard pick. I feel like it has. I feel like again like they when they done it in the past like it just hasn't worked out for them. So it's like what do they like send someone to exile and then so like do they like send someone to exile and like they play out like a round of 20 and then like the losing tribe gets like the person that gets to exile after they vote someone out. Like I mean I could see that. I mean I think there's definitely like way I don't think it's a guarantee they just eliminate someone because again like Jeff is like more involved with casting at this point. Like I don't think I think he would feel like weird about like letting someone go right away, like someone that he like had a hand in casting, unless like he was like gonna bring them back for 52, no, or like 54 or something like that. I don't know. I think there's definitely like ways to go about it, but it's like yeah, it is definitely weird that you know like 21 people they don't even announce like the tribe divisions right away. Repeat of what happened in May. The Sierra War, but with BB's own Sandra and Janelle. Oh, you're talking about Jeff giving Suri like a trophy, like like a lifetime achievement award. I don't know. Like anyway, speaking of Survivor, we're getting a 51 ad. We've definitely gotten plenty of these before, but they're showing another one. Anyway, let's try to see who else is in attendance here. We're probably going back from commercial. Anyway, back from commercial now. All right, we got the Alliance Award. Guessing. All right, she's just showing the nominees, I think. Got the Brigade. We got the Sovereign Six in the Friendship. I don't think they're gonna win. I'd be very shocked if like these really old school alliances like I'd be surprised if either like any of like these like older alliances were to win. Like I'm guessing the Cookout's probably gonna win. All right, they're showing the leftovers right now. Leftovers is kind of like a weird alliance to include there. We got Danielle and Jason. the Secret Alliance. They're showing level 6. They're showing the Renegades. They're showing the Six Finger Alliance, which... Oh, is that Alliance? Showing the Cookout now. They're showing the Four Horsemen, which is the most iconic alliance ever. Showing the Quack Pack. Showing the Hitmen. Alright, I'm guessing Cookout's gonna win this award. Alright, let's see. Yep. Not surprising. Alright. They just have all the chairs out. They have 6 chairs out. Anyway, they're bringing them all out right now. Alright, shocking to Chada. Yeah, it's funny. So it's like Xavier sitting on one end and Kylan sitting on the complete opposite end, like as far apart as they can possibly be. I find that funny. Maybe. Now talking to Big D. All right. He's sadly to vote. Is she gonna ask about the fight? All right, talking to Tiffany. All right, not surprising. Tiffany picks Taylor as her favorite player. All right. Julie doesn't know what place Kylan got. All right. Doesn't want. Kylan is anti-survivor. All right. Talking to Azza. Asking who she thinks is going to win. All right. Talking about Lala winning the wall. All right. And guessing favorite. Oh yeah, this favorite line. All right. All right, we had Dan's funeral again. They had the "hate you all" speech. We have the jury speech. Taylor's jury speech. These are just really long quotes. All right, we had Judas from Jerry. We have Kaser saying, "I sealed your partner's fate." We've got Davon. I'm guessing, yeah, Floaters Better Grab Life is probably gonna win. It's like short, snappy. Yeah, these are really weird. Like, I mean, either that. I don't know. Crazy's Eyes is okay. Like, I don't know. Some of these are kind of weird. Floop Bloop Dingus. To Technotronics. Did I vote for Technotronics on the stream? Yeah. Again, another very unsurprising outcome here. Was that Amy sitting next to her? Yeah, it's Amy sitting next to her. Oh my god, how embarrassing. Alright, I guess we got Guinness World Records here. Okay. Not really sure what the point of this segment is. Okay. Cool. Jesse seems pretty happy. Alright, we got Quinn and Kaser, I believe. Alright. Okay, we're probably gonna. Alright, going to commercial. Okay, we got another commercial coming. We still have another award to give out. Favorite winner. All right, we have Morgan, Paul, Nicole. Oh, Vince is there. Wow, Vince is sitting next to Derek and Taylor here. Anyway, we're at commercial right now. Go through some of our all 51 competitors. Specifically, there's someone from Sequester in season, Daniel Kilby, and some others we can talk about. Yeah. I guess we can talk a bit about I'm sorry. Yeah, I can talk a bit about some of the 51 people. So obviously there's Daniel or Kilby. I don't know, he's okay. Like I do worry he could have like this like I saw people comparing him to like Brandon Donlin. I can kind of see that. And I heard that he was like on like a online like thing, but like wasn't he like an early boot in that? Like wasn't he like I think he got like 18th place in that or something like that. Let me just check. Um yeah, so he was on Sequester Access season 2. He was like the third boot on that season, which is obviously not great. And like he lost a challenge to Kim from Dealer Note from Dondi. Out of all people, like you lose a challenge to her. How embarrassing is that? I mean, but I haven't seen it, but it's like again, like I do, but I think even taking that out, just looking at it like in a video, I do worry he could have like that downside. But again, he is a fan. He does like know the show pretty well. So we'll see what happens with him. Um there's another person I'm really interested in. It's Anna. So Anna's like a voice actress, and I actually recognized her because so again, I'm a brony. Again, I do have another channel where I have made some LLP videos before. We're back from commercial, by the way. Guessing we're doing a favorite winner. Boy, it sure is. It sure is convenient that there's no two-time winners, Julie. All right, favorite winner. Who are the nominees? Okay, we got Taylor, June, Dan. We have Dr. Will, Rachel, and Derek. I don't know, probably oh my God, my mind went blank. Oh well, Dan won. I guess it's not too shocking. I mean, if Dan's funeral won favorite moment, I guess like they also voted for him for winner, but I was thinking between like it was gonna be between him and Taylor, depending on like how far back these people's memories are. Yeah, not too shocked, especially knowing that Dan's funeral won the favorite moment award. Yeah, they're just showing Dan stuff right now. Um, yeah, they're just showing the stuff right now. But anyway, sorry, I got distracted. So yeah, so Anna Sani, that's her full name. Uh, okay, she did work for Blue's Clues when Josh was the host. Oh yeah. She's done like a bunch of like she's done that. She's done like Strawberry Shortcake. But no, like the thing I was gonna say is that she was on G5 of MLP. Like she vote. Anyway, they're bringing Dana on the stage. What is that haircut he's got? Oh my god. He's got like the shaved sides. Oh my god, does not suit him at all. That's like a it's that's a weird haircut, but anyway, I'm being sidetracked again. Uh, but uh, but no, so she like voiced like Izzy on G5 MLP specifically, like not the new generation movie, but like in like the series, like the Tell Your Tale, Make Your Mark. So she voiced Izzy in that. So like I already knew her from that. But yeah, I did find that intriguing. In terms of like her like stuff, like I don't know, like I think she gave off good energy in her like her bio and stuff. Like she does seem like she's gonna like she does talk about how she's like gonna like cause chaos and stuff like that. But but yeah, like I'm not like a huge like, but like I feel like she could go either way. Like I could definitely see her like flaming out, but like I think she has like some upside. Because she talks about like wanting to play like Tony, like work hard. Like she talks about like she says trusting her would be a mistake, which I found pretty funny. I don't so there's her. There's other people. There's like I don't really have like a winner pick right now. Like I mean there's a Theon, Taeon. I think that's how you say her name, but I liked her. Like I think she came off pretty well. Not really. Again, I think she could be a bit high variance, but I think she has some good upside. I think she has a good head on her shoulders. Um, I like I like Ori. I think I really liked him. Like he definitely like is like trying to capture like this Jeremy Collins vibe. We're actually getting to the main episode now. They just finished interviewing Dan. Now we're getting to like the post veto stuff. Like we're getting to like the actual meat of the episode now. Uh, anyway, I like Ori. I do worry he'd come off as like pretty threatening. Like again, because he's a pretty big guy. Like he played college football. But again, I really liked him. How we check what our Nick Jr. roles were? Oh, you were oh, you're talking about Anna again. I mean, I could pull up her IMDb page. Anyway, I can pull up her IMDb page. So this is it right here. Can't see that. But yeah, it's like a lot of kids shows. Really, like I'll admit I have not heard of a lot of these. Again, I know about the MLP stuff, obviously, and I understand she was on Strawberry Shortcake, or like one of the more recent iterations of that. She's on Cocomelon Lane. That's a show. What else? She was on. It looks like she was on. She has some live action stuff too. Like it says she was on a couple episodes of The Boys. I never watched The Boys, but like I know that's a show people talk about. Let's see. Avatar Frontiers. Oh, that's the James Cameron one, right? With this show, Deepa and Anoop. Never heard of that. Anyway, we have Mallory crashing out again. Another Mallory crash out. She's just banging her pillow right now, just super upset. We got Bakugan Battle Planet. Transformers Bot Bots. That's a little harsh. Sorry. She was on an episode of Arthur. Interesting. Total Drama Rama. She was on an episode of that. Character's name is Strawberry. Okay. Okay, we're getting Melody and Bear talking. Dog and Pony Show. Hotel Transylvania. She was on one episode of that. Additional voices. Okay. What else? Mysticons. That's 22 episodes of that. Mia and Me. Looks like it was like a sitcom or something. Guessing on the Disney Channel. I don't know. Yeah, interesting filmography. We got Mallory talking to Barrett right now. BCAY as a fairy tale character. Yeah. She voiced a fairy tale character on Blue's Clues, Rapunzel. Oh, nice. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we can talk more at the commercial break. The show's still on right now. Oh yeah, I probably did scroll past it. Yeah, she's done a lot of stuff. Like, we're about to get to commercial here. Um, so so yeah, we can talk a bit more about 51. Brady. I feel alright about Brady. I think he came up pretty well in his intro video, like again talking about like his energy and stuff and how he wants to like be underestimated and be seen as his dumb jock. I think he could be helped by the fact that Jonathan just lost a jury vote on 50. I think he's going to lean a lot into that. Again, there's still like the fundamental concerns about him being like this big physical guy, and maybe the fact that Jonathan just got the final tribal could be a case to vote him out, because like if he's taking up one spot even as a goat, then you know let's take up a spot for someone else. So again, we'll see what happens, but like again, I am interested in Brady at least. Who else is there? Feel right about him. I thought Carter was funny. Like again, I think he could be okay. Um, who else? I like Sharonda. I think she came off well. Linnea or Linnea? Yeah, I think it's Linnea. She's the adult shop owner. Uh, I thought she was fun too. I think she could go either way. Like I think she's someone who like seems well rounded on paper. I think she's someone who knows the game well, but I could also see her like having like this manic energy. Like I could see like Maddie Pamela flame out potential in her, but I think off the bat I felt all right about Linnea. Rob, I felt okay about Rob. Same thing with like Aaliyah. I liked Aaliyah. I do worry that Aaliyah could be seen as like a physical liability. Like I'm not really sure how good she'll be in challenges, but I think she could be okay. I think if she wins challenges early on, and if she's on like the winning tribe, I think she could definitely game runway. I think Eric's okay. I think Eric's another person, and Christian. Christian's all right. People I don't feel as good about. So I think there were a couple of people I didn't feel the greatest about. I think Maggie jumps out to me. Like Maggie is someone who I think she has watched the show from the beginning, and I think she definitely has knowledge of the game. But she also kind of gave off Wendy Joe vibes, which isn't great. Like her husband was talking about how he thinks she's crazy and that people think she's a bit extra, which I do worry about. Then also she just I'm not really sure how well she's gonna vibe on a lot of tribes, so not a huge fan on the that. Um yeah, I was just talking about Aliyah. Hey Jared. Hey Soul33 Pie. Need Drew to win Blockbuster so Mallory can go home. Guessing you're not a big Mallory fan. How dare you say that about our pipe queen? Final prediction. What is the twist? Would love America HOH. I think I'm good without America's HOH. We've already had enough fan votes on the season. Like, I'd be shocked if they did like another one. And again, like it's just, I feel like that's just gonna favor the icons even more because it's like we literally just saw like the Angela, Rick, and Dee winning the first three time capsules. So I'd be shocked if like they just gave them even more power. Anyway, we're back from commercial. What I think, I don't know. I think, uh, I could see it being I could see it being like some sort of like different format around, like maybe like I don't really have like I don't really have like a super solid prediction over what the twist is going to be. I'm guessing it's just going to be like a different round of gameplay, something that's kind of like what we've seen before, even though they're claiming that's totally new. Anyway, we're now seeing Dee, Rick, and Angela talking with Yash. They're talking about breaking up FAP. I should probably get like the pool, like get like the pool game ready to update. Yeah, we're just seeing like Dee talking to Haley right now. She's trying to get the target onto Mallory. They're making it seem like Yash and Haley may not be on board here. Haley, Taylor. Uh, yeah, they're making it seem like Haley's not gonna work with the vets here. Skyrus picks D. Owen picks La. D. I think I went with D this week. Saber picked D. Mono, D. Angela. Switch to D. 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 Oh my god, everyone's picking D. And ordinary with Lala. Okay, so let me just look at the picks one more time. Lala. D. D. Nope. D. 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 All right, now we have Barrett. I'm guessing we're gonna get to the Barrett stuff now. Oh yeah, I never picked Drew, so that could be a problem if Drew goes home tonight. So that's for the pool game. Yeah, we're getting the Barrett. We have Barrett being annoyed at Drew. Brett Lewis. Oh yeah. Oh well, Lewis is Irish. Yeah, he's not British, but I like Lewis. I think he came off as like a fun character in his bio. Hopefully he doesn't play that the way he's claiming. I'm hoping he's just like talking it up to the cameras and stuff, because otherwise like he could be in a lot of trouble. So obviously that's not great, but I'm at least somewhat hoping that he doesn't actually play that way. But I like to wait for like the extended interviews. We are 1 week away from Dancing with the Stars 35 cast reveal on GMA. Believe it or not, Traders alum Mora and Kiara are both competing this upcoming season. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. If you go to Wikipedia, you will see for yourself. We're just getting more of FAP, like potentially flipping the vote in the Drew here. We have Barrett, Melody, and Mallory talking right now. Yes, if Drew wins, then Mallory should be evicted over. Yeah, that I believe that's the plan for Mallory to be evicted over Taylor. Because if Drew wins Blockbuster, then again, like you have the vets. Yes, Drew wins Blockbuster. Yeah, I mean we can just go through it one more time here. So we have Mallory and Taylor here. Again, you have the vets all being votes for. You have the vets here being votes for Mallory. You have Barrett and Drew, who would be votes for Taylor Say. I mean, votes against Taylor, I should say. But you have Angela and D. Those are votes for Mallory. Drew would be a vote for Mallory, so that's 3 right there. You have Yash is another vote there. And you have Lala. Like, that's already enough to evict Mallory. And you throw in Haley as well. That's 6-2. Mallory goes home over Taylor. So that's what that scenario would look like here. But we are about to get to commercial. We are about to. Yeah, Blockbuster has not happened yet, but we are literally about to go to commercial where it will be taking place. So it will literally be happening in a few moments. So we are going to commercial right now. But yeah, I mean, we've already gotten a taste of what it's like. I mean, so basically it's just like a memory comp where it's like it's very similar to what the week 1 Blockbuster was, where you're just running, like you're looking at a bunch of screens and like trying to like remember stuff, and like from there you have to like lock in an answer. So it's so I think there's like three screens, and there's like a clue, and there's three screens, and I think you have to find out um which screen has the clue or something like that. So I guess we can just take one more look at the poll before we get started here. So, like I said, Mallory was the favorite to win the blockbuster here. Again, considering that this is a memory comp, I do think it's a bit more open than that. I could realistically see any one of these three winning the competition, so I think it's pretty equitable. But yeah, Mallory is the favorite here based on the poll here. The way the icons play, it's clear they see people as fools. Yeah, I do think they. I don't think they think very highly of their competition. I don't think they see. Well, the way they see Drew's kind of weird, but because it's like they don't trust him, but at the same time, like they try to like rope him in as their ally. But I do think they see Barrett as someone who's not really doing much. Haley, kind of the same thing. I think Lala and Taylor have been very much talked down about from the others. I still want the icons to win though. I don't know. I think it'd be. I mean, I'm not against the icons winning per se, but it's like I do want them to also face some. I want them to face adversity, and I just want it to be a fun ride, like because I think it would be really stupid if like they just like steamroll, like they just keep they either they win in competitions or they keep getting benefited by like twists and stuff, which again we'll have to see what this twist here tonight is. But I do worry that if it involves like some sort of fan vote element, that it'll probably just uh benefit them. I think the thing with the vets, like particularly with like D, I just been kind of frustrated with how they've been playing as well. I do think D has kind of been playing pretty messily, and it's kind of annoying that she hasn't like faced more pushback for it. But again, we'll see what happens. Um, Barrett and Icon's enemies now. So I don't think the Icons are against Barrett per se. I think the Icons assume that they can just like blind because like they were going to blindside Barrett with the vote and like they were going to blindside him with the vote and then hope for forgiveness. I think they assume that Barrett will just not actually make a move against them, which to be fair, Barrett has not really done much to resist them yet. Now I think tonight's vote could obviously shake that up depending on what scenario we get, but I think Barrett himself has kind of waken up to be against the vets, but again, I think a lot of what he does moving forward will depend on like who wins competitions, and also depending on how much Mallory and Melody like push him in the future. Because I think they are way more committed to like actually taking a shot compared to Barrett, and I think if they keep a fire, like I think if they keep the foot on the gas, and then that could motivate Barrett to follow through. But we are actually back from commercial now, and we are actually about to get into the blockbuster. So we have Julie here. We are cutting now to the yard where Julie is now going to be explaining the rules. So we did preview what this competition was before. Again, we know it's a memory comp. We know that it's going to involve looking at screens and like locking in an answer. So again, it's kind of a boring competition to commentate and watch, but that's what. But on the other hand, I do think it's a pretty equitable comp from what we've been seeing. So right now, Julie is explaining the rules. Okay. All right, so there's several clues, and one of the screens. So there's 3 screens. One of them has a whole bunch of like clips from BB history. Okay, interesting. So basically, the first person to lock in the correct answer wins. So there's 3 clues. They have to pick the screen where the combined clips apply to all of them. And then first person to lock in the answer wins. Anyway, we are now off to the races here. So first I got to look at the clues and see what they are. So right now they're looking at the clues here. Okay, the correct one has at least 1 player fall. Okay. I'm not really sure what to make of these, per se. So anyway, we're just getting a glimpse of what the screens are and what the clips are. Pretty interesting clips, actually. I mean, we're getting stuff like Shane being evicted, Casey winning. We got Evil Dick and Danielle. The final 2, BB-8. There have been some pretty interesting clips, like pretty interesting polls. Anyway, so right now they're all just studying the screens. Drew has locked in his answer. He clocked in C. Right now, Taylor and Mallory are still studying, but Drew has locked in his answer. He has picked screen C. We'll have to see whether that's the correct answer or not. But Drew is actually going back to the screens. Can he change his answers? But right now, Mallory and Taylor, they are reading. Okay, so it looks like he can change his answers, but I think Drew was just trying to lock his in first. I don't think he even saw the third clue. He actually went back and looked at what the third clue was. But anyway, Mallory is locking in an answer. We don't know what it is. Looked like she was trying to lock in a C, but she couldn't, so she locked in A by instead. Taylor is stuck with B. So, Mallory has selected A. Taylor selected B. Drew has selected C. All right, competition is over. We're going to find out what the answer is. Okay. Well. Drew has won the blockbuster. Took a very risky strat of locking in. He locked in the answer without seeing the third clue. He locked it in only seeing 2 clues, I believe. Either that or he read the third clue without like us seeing. But we are seeing him hugging Mallory now, very emotional. But we are going to commercial now. If you are just joining us, are these sizes correct? Sizes should be correct here. I don't know why Drew one is so weird. Oh, okay, that's why. So, if you are just joining us, Drew has just won the blockbuster here, giving us a final nominations: Mallory versus Taylor here, which I do think is probably the least interesting outcome here, because I do think it's the most clear-cut Mallory eviction here. Again, just looking at the potential votes here, you have Angela and Rick Devens here, who I think are locked votes against Mallory here. I think Haley would vote for Mallory. Again, there's a shot. Again, she probably would prefer Taylor to go, but I think knowing that the icons are on board to evict Mallory, I think she's wanting to vote with them there. Drew being a vote for Mallory. I think he feels burnt. I think he feels he's burnt that bridge there. Yash, again, working more so with Taylor. Doesn't make sense for him to keep Mallory. Then same thing with Lala here. So that's 6 votes here. Already not to evict. You probably have Barrett and Melody being votes to keep Mallory around. I think you could even make the case that they could vote against Mallory. Again, I think seeing it as a fruitless effort, but ultimately, it does look like Mallory, the Pipe Queen, will be going out in 11th place here, but we are currently a commercial. We still have to get to the actual vote here before we can get to anything else. Let me see your comments here. Yes, yeah. So Mallory threw the HOH. Like she was like in a position to where she could have won it, but again, she slowed down because she didn't want the power. Essentially, she felt like she was going to be safe under D's HOH. She was worried about. She fell into the trap of, okay, I was playing the middle. I don't want to cause too much waste, so I'm going to throw the HOH. Which, again, very misguided approach, and it looks like it's going to cost her the game here. Wanted so bad, Drew Calafiore. Indeed. But yeah, very interesting results here. Well, interesting in terms of how the competition played out. Um, can't convince me Devin didn't throw HOH. I don't know. I don't think Devin was ever that good in balance beam. So it's like I think he genuinely lost it. But it is a clutch win for Drew. I do think this is obviously better for the vets here to be keeping Drew around. Again, you get rid of Mallory, who is someone who is obviously an obstacle for the vets. Now, I still don't think the vets are out of the woods by any means. Like you have the likes of you still have to worry about Taylor or Lala winning HOH in the future. I think Barrett is someone to watch out for if he were to win HOH. My apologies. I think Melody is kind of a similar thing. Again, Melody hasn't really won anything yet, but again, all it takes is her winning HOH. And then the one saving grace is like you have Yash, who cannot nominate the vets. But I do think he'll probably like I think he'll definitely like be working against them for the future. Barrett should just stick to podcasting. Again, it hasn't worked out great for him. But again, like I think he's probably going to be pretty disappointed by this blockbuster result here. Again, I think in terms of blindside the vets, this was like obviously like the least interesting outcome because obviously this is just what the vets want. We're gonna start covering Dancing with the Stars because of Mora and Kiara's season. I would do the ranking based on most likely to win based on the scores the sleds received from the judges that week. So Dancing with the Stars, like, is that filmed live? Like, is it filmed live? Is it like America's Got Talent, or is it all like pre-recorded? Is it like Amazing Race, essentially, or Hell's Kitchen, essentially? Yes. Yes, it's filmed live, or yes, it's pre-recorded. Okay, it's filmed live. I mean, yeah, but, I mean, if it's filmed live, then again, like, I think is there like a fan vote element to it, or is it like strictly based on what the judges think? Anyway, we're back from commercial, and Julie is about to announce the results. All right, they're announcing the result. All right, just announce the results here. Cut the Barrett. Cut the Devons. Cut to Angela. I'm guessing not much is going to happen here. So happy Drew won. Again, I could give or take with it. I think it would have been more fun to see like an actual like blindside here against the vets. But on the other hand, I do think there's still like a path forward for like Melody, for Taylor, for Barrett. So I guess another question is what does Barrett do now? Like, does he just like go back to like the vets until like he like wins power or something? You're rooting for the vets. Well, I mean, I mean, if we're rooting for the vets, then obviously this is a good outcome for them. But anyway, we're getting straight to the nomination speeches now. So no, Dancing with the Stars. I think I think if it's fan voted, I still probably would have to account somewhat for the edit because again, because like I feel like with fan votes, like so the thing with fan votes is that it just gives production a lot of power to in terms of how they portray people. So I think you do have to account for the edit because obviously the edit does explain how they want to portray people and how they want them to think about these players. And I think you can definitely like curate like who you want like the audience to like root for. So that's how I'm feeling. But anyway, we're getting to the speeches now. Mallory giving a moderately emotional speech. Drew is also pretty emotional right now. Now we're getting to Taylor's speech. I should probably reverse these because I'm expecting Mallory to get the majority of the votes here. Okay. All right, Melody's up first. Again, should be a vote for Taylor, at least you would think. Unless she's trying to like save face, but it's like I don't think she cares, if I'm being honest. All right, vote for Taylor. Angela should be a vote for Mallory. So I swapped the orders because I'm expecting Mallory to get the majority of the votes, and Angela looks very emotional. So the reason I have the order swapped is because otherwise, like, again, I can't really fit more than like more than three things on here. I'm just putting these out here. I mean, I could do it this way too, like across the very bottom, but it's like, but again, I think it's just cleaner if I have the person I think get if the person I think is getting the majority of the votes, it's just like on the right, so that way I like more room to like display all these like icons and stuff. But anyway, we are at commercial right now. One vote for Melody, one vote against Mallory, one vote against Taylor. But again, I feel like beyond that, we're not gonna get much votes for Taylor. Definitely tune in next Wednesday to see the cast reveal for Dancing with Stars 35 to cheer Mora and Kiara on. I'll keep an eye out for it. Again, like I never really watched Dancing with the Stars. It's not I can't really say it's a show I'm that invested in, but it's like again, it is cool that Mora and Kiara are gonna be on it, but yeah, so like I'm not really sure again, so like, because like I don't really have much knowledge about the show, it's hard for me to say that I could do coverage on it, but again, like I guess like I guess like hypothetically, if I were to cover Dancing with the Stars, like I probably would have to account for the edit somewhat because like I said, because like I said, I feel like the thing with these shows that are filmed live that are reliant on fan votes and really just fan votes in general, like I think it just gives so much power to production in terms of who they want to succeed because it's like again, especially with a show like Dancing with the Stars, where it's like you don't have all like the footage because again, we literally just saw this playing out on Big Brother, where even on that show, where we have unedited footage, and you have a community of people that can watch the live feeds and get like this unedited stuff. at the end of the day, it is still the casual audience that dominates the fan base or dominates the viewer base, that dominates these fan votes, and how the casual audience builds their opinions on these players is determined by the edit, like how like the show is portraying these people, who they're giving screen time to, who they are portraying as doing well. And again, this is on Big Brother. This is again like one of the better case scenarios, and we still see this effect taking place where production like has a lot of influence, and the edit gives us a sense of who production cares about. The edit gives us a sense of who we're meant to be paying attention to. So I feel like because of that, you still need to pay attention to the edit on a show that's filmed live and is using these fan votes, because the edit gives us a sense of who the show is meant to. Uh, the show like has a lot of influence over like who gets portrayed, how they get portrayed, like who gets like favorable content. And I'm not saying like these shows like dunk on people, like it's not like the same type of edit, but at the same time, I feel like it's very easy for shows like that to like tug on the heartstrings and really like make us care about one person over another. So I would still need to care about the edit on a show like that if I were to do a power ranking. But anyway, that was a bit of a side tangent. We are actually back from commercial here, or we're getting back to the vote here. Barrett is in the voting confessional here. Again, it'll be very interesting to see how he votes here between Taylor and Mallory here. What does he do? Looks very torn up here. Vote for Taylor. So Barrett does not cave in here. He does vote for Taylor here. Votes to keep Mallory. And it's looking like we will be getting a 6-2 vote here. Drew is now in the voting booth here. Again, we saw Drew being very emotional in the immediate aftermath of the blockbuster here. You can tell he is not happy to be casting his vote. There we go. Vote for Mallory. Okay. Next we have Yash. Should be a Mallory vote. All right, vote for Mallory. Not too shocking. Haley's up next. Again, Haley does not like Taylor. Haley feels like Taylor would be a vote against her in the jury, but I am expecting her to vote for Mallory here to be in line with the vets. Yep, vote for Mallory. 4 votes for Mallory. 1 more will do it. And we got Rick Devins coming to the voting booth here. This will seal it. Rick looks a bit somber. Not too somber, though. Vote for Mallory. And with that, Mallory will be the 7th boot of the season here, but we got 1 more vote in Lala. Lala looks pretty happy. Yep. All right, we got a vote of 6-2. Mallory will be evicted. R.I.P. Pipe Queen. Mallory, the second bet pre-jury player this season. Second best, you mean? I still think Kamu's probably above her. Yeah, I probably would have her above Lyric, if I'm being honest. I don't love how she played this week, but again, I think she was okay at points. But anyway, Julie's announcing the result here. Let me tell you that Tea Party drama got the better of her. are talking about Mallory, supposedly. Yep, very emotional, hugging Taylor. No, she's hugging Melody, hugging Barrett, hugging Lala. Let me just update the games now. Who do you think wins AFP? I think my money is on Rick Devens right now. I mean, I know Angela won the time capsule before Rick did, but I feel like as of late, like Rick has been getting a lot of like good content on the show. Like, I could easily see the casuals looking at Rick Devens as like a very witty player based off how he's been portraying the episodes. Then also it is Rick Devens. Like Rick is a pretty compelling character by himself, so I think my money is on Rick Devens to win AFP. Anyway, so no one's out of the pool game. Okay. They're calling her Pipe Queen. Where's the pool? Oh, I guess Melody screamed again. I did not hear that. She's asking for votes. Votes who kept her. Yep. Okay. So Mallory's 11th place. All right, Mallory is not a big D fan. All right, so Julie's asking if she threw it, which we know she threw it. Like they talk about it on the feeds. Like she admits to throwing it, but so Mallory does own up to throwing it. It's weird. Like she talked about it on feeds about she admits that she threw the competition, but they didn't focus on it in the episode on the Sunday episode. They focused more on Barrett and Melody throwing it. They didn't like we didn't hear Mallory in the episode talking about throwing it. Okay, we're gonna wrap up the interview and then we're gonna find out what this twist is, hopefully, and then we can react to it. Hmm. Well, I guess we're going to commercial. Probably gonna be a fast commercial break here. Anyway, let's get the responses. She was one who was a team right. Yeah, yeah. Let's go. Mallory has had a year. He's been great on the feeds. They haven't put a lot on the actual show, but I guess can't be the Devons. I mean, Devons has been on the show a good amount. I mean, I feel like he's probably probably playing the most actively well out of the vets. Now, again, it hasn't been perfect, but I feel like he comes off well in the feeds. And I think even on the show, like he has been getting a good amount of screen time. Like, I mean, I feel like this past week, I feel like he's come up pretty well, like in the episodes. Melody needs to go just because she's so annoying. I don't know. Actually, I like Melody. Actually, I think she's been a fun character. I think her screaming is pretty funny. Like I think like her like stint as Lady the Latrine. I think she's been pretty good there. Like I do like Melody. I think she has some fun moments. I'd rather see Haley go than Melody. Would Haley be one of the worst Big Brother players to make the jury stage? I don't know. Yeah, she's a bad player, but like I don't know if she's like top 10 worst to make jury because it's like again she's like okay enough in comps. Like the fact that she's at least being pulled in by the vets is something at least. Like she's at least like being used by them. Now she's not well positioned within that. Now I think she's probably in a similar caliber to like a MJ from BB26, and I think she could definitely like play a similar role, especially if like the icons do steamroll from this point. I could definitely see like Haley like very clearly fitting into like the being like the MJ of the season. The season is shaping up to be as bad as 19. I don't know. I think 19's. I think the season's better than 19. Like it's way better than 19. I feel like it's been a more interesting ride. Now, yeah, there has been negativity along the way, but I feel like there have been some fun vote outs at least, and I don't think it's been a complete steamroll on the Vets' end. But we are back from commercial here, where we are finally going to learn some information about this twist here. Okay, no HOH, no veto, no blockbuster. Okay, so we're just getting a okay, we're getting a preview of it now. We got Tiffany and Brittany. Is that Janelle? Got Keanu and Cody. Oh my god. Oh boy. Oh boy. So okay, so the episode's done. Um so I think based off that context, I'm guessing it's either like an instant elimination. I think that's definitely up for grabs here. Um or maybe it'll be like a survivor round, like no HOH, no veto, just a straight up vote. I think that's probably the best case scenario, if I'm being honest. So yeah, so let's just put everything back. So I guess we can talk to you like again. So I think that's what I'm thinking. Like the other two possibilities here, either like in some sort of a white locust twist where there's like an instant elimination, or like an elimination that's directly linked to a challenge. or it's like a round of Survivor where it's like you just vote and whoever has the majority goes home. So actually, let's see. So again, assuming there's no immunity, if it's a competition, I mean, really, it could be anything. I mean, it could be anything here. So if it's like a straight up competition, then I guess like would it just be like a normal competition where it's like last place is eliminated? No, they wouldn't do that. I mean, really, then it's hard to predict. Really, it would depend on what the competition is. I would worry a lot for Melody if it is like a straight up competition. I think Melody screams out to me as the least likely to win. I mean, she's the only. I believe she's the only person left that has not won a single competition. So obviously that's not great there. I mean, you obviously have Angela. Again, if it's a straight up competition and she's exposed, then she could get sniped out. Obviously, no, Drew just won a second competition, so he should be fine. How would Taylor do? I guess it would depend. So that's if it's a straight up competition. Obviously, there's a lot to be determined there. I also, oh yeah, I need to make a ruling for the pool game. So yeah, 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 I'll wait until I'm off stream to make a ruling. I think it just makes sense to just like do like a normal pool. I think. But yeah, I think no feed sucks so much. I just worry it's gonna kill the momentum of the season, like because we've seen this happen before. Though I guess like it could have been worse. Like again, like they could have had Drew be evicted, blindside the icons, and then kill the feeds. So I guess it's not as bad as what it could have been, but still not great. Um, but yeah, I think if it's a straight up competition, just looking up pure raw comp ability, I think Melody's probably the most danger. Like again, because like she's on the other side of the FAP. If it's like a safety chain competition, then I can easily see her being targeted by the vet side of things. If they do well in the competition, like I could easily see uh I could easily see like okay, like Rick goes first, then he picks D. Well no, Rick goes first, then he picks D, then am I still live? I feel like I think stream might have crashed, but seems okay for the time being. But anyway, again, like if it's like a safety chain, I could see a world where like the vets go first, like they pick each other, and then like you move down the line, maybe pick Drew, and then you basically like try to save like your opposition for last, so that they have like the least amount of time, assuming it's like a timed thing. Again, like safety chains, I feel like could be very gameable if you like know in advance. And if it's like a hamster wheel style competition where it's like each person gets less and less time, then that could very much disfavor something like a Melody, unless like her side like wins the chain first. Like I mean, so like the alternative would be like I don't know, like Yash wins and then he picks like Melody in that, and then Taylor goes, and then Lala goes, and so obviously there's a lot of for grabs there. So it's like really it's a crapshoot. Like I mean, we don't even know what the competition is. They're not even going to show us the feeds, so we're kind of in the dark here. So obviously just a very unfortunate situation there. If it's a straight up vote though, like let's say instead it's like a round of Survivor, I feel like that probably would be bad for the non-icon side of things because what? So it's like you have D here, so D, Rick, Haley's a vote, Drew supposedly a vote. Actually, Drew could be a swing vote maybe. I don't know. And then on the other side you have like Yash, Lala, Melody, Taylor. Actually, I think that's straight up vote. Now I'm looking at it, I think the icons could also be in trouble there because like unless they like flip like Barrett back to their side, then I think that could be a pretty precarious spot as well. So, but obviously there's like a lot up for grabs here, and unfortunately, we're not gonna know much for the next couple days. Yeah, yeah, that is true. They did say it's like something we never seen before. It is possible that this just benefits the vets, but like again, like we're just not gonna know until we have an inkling. Uh, is Barry a part of the vets or the other group? But by the way, I just got Drew haircut. Oh, you did? Uh, and that's pretty good. Like I mean, it's a nice haircut. So I believe Barrett is like fully against the icon. I think Barrett's kind of like in this weird spot because I think he is like inclined to be against the vets now because again he has Melody still as an ally there. She's pretty anti-vet at this point. I think he also sees like this other side forming in like a Lala Taylor Yash. I think he sees like an escape hatch here, and I think this week for him made it apparent that he's just not valued here. So you'd think that would be a wake up call for him, and I think he gotta assume that Barrett would probably flip at this point because it's not like he doesn't know the game. He is a super fan. I think he feels like there should come a time to flip against the vets, but I think part of the reason why he was just so slow is one playing scared. I think him just being worried that he's like he could like overplay and make himself a target. But I think it's also him just recognizing that again like on like these captain seasons where you have newbies mixed with returnees that the returnees are going to have like advantages early on like whether it's through safety, whether it's through like extra social capital, like people want to keep them a shield. So it's like I think he's probably trying to follow like that meta of like working with them initially, but then you have to eventually turn against them. And I think he's struggling with the timing of that. Now I do think he probably sees this as a turning point, so like you think based off that he probably would flip if he's able to. But on the other hand, if this twist ends up benefiting the vets and just giving them more power, then I think that could probably delay that more. So I could see it going either way. I think you would assume on paper that he probably would, but we'll just have to see. Bear is going to have the transition week, and then he's going to go full Melody next week if she doesn't get eliminated. Yeah, I think I think if this had been a normal round of gameplay, that he probably would be doing so already. But I think on the other hand, he's probably just hoping that Melody or someone on the non-vet side wins powers that he can fully latch himself onto his opposition. Like I feel like the problem with Bear is that I don't think he wants to do it on his own. I think he wants someone else to take the shot. I feel like that's the sense I've gotten from him from a lot of the season. Now, yes, I think now that circumstances have changed, that he may be more inclined to be the one that takes that shot, but I think for a lot of the season, that's something that has held him back, and I think he's now starting to see the effects of that. I think if that wins the season, they drag Haley as a goat. I think that's probably their plan. Like, I think I could easily see Angela. Like, I think Angela still wants it to go to the end with Haley. I think D sees Haley as an easy option there. I think D sees Haley as her MJ. Um, I don't think Rick wants to go to the end against Haley though. I think he's still on the D train, which is obviously a problem because D does not want to take Devin to the end, but he doesn't fully realize that yet. So that's everything that I have on my end. I wasn't sure if any of y'all had anything else you want to talk about before we log off. Haley is the only 100% on the vet side, so we may see the first vet go home soon, probably the next 2 weeks. I feel like it's probably gonna come like if he. I think it's gonna come if like Lala or Taylor win HOH, or possibly like Melody Barrett if they can pull out a win. But obviously that's not the most likely outcome right now. And then obviously you have Yash, who literally cannot target the vets right now because of the bribe. So there's that. But yeah, I mean that's everything that I have. Obviously I'll be back again next week. After we get the fallout of whatever this twist is. Hopefully, interest in the season doesn't die off due to the feeds being down. I still think it's a mistake to. I still think it's a mistake to cut the feeds, but I mean, what do I know? Report back my contestant finals next week. Yeah. Let me know like how it turns out. But again, I think if it were not for this twist, I think this could be like an interesting turning point. And for all I know, even now, it could still be a turning point in the season, depending on who comes out on top from the twist that takes place. But again, we're just not going to know. But I'll be back again next week to report on what we have uncovered. And yeah, until next time, that's everything I got. See ya.